Hey everybody, this is Mrs. Lukel. I wanted to thank Maddie for thinking of this idea of doing the video. I know I went through everything really fast in class at the end there, and you might need a review or just were a little confused about things. So I'm going over this again. So my number one recommendation would be to fill up your weaving. I would go all the way, fill it up, as many pieces, squish it tight, fill in as many as you can. One of the reasons I showed a few people so they got to feel the difference between these two. This one's real loose. You can kind of see how much more loose this is compared to this. This I put in really tight, kind of like I'm here, squishing it tight, okay? And I put lots and lots in there. And sometimes you can even scooch it and put another layer in there. I scooched it together and added this fringe. And it's pretty easy how to do this, by the way. I don't know if you remember, I wrapped it around a whole bunch of times. The yarn wrapped around, and then I cut it at both sides. All right. And then I ended up with a whole bunch of pieces that were all the same size. I don't know if you remember that in class. Then I would take one or two at a time, and I'd try to get the two ends underneath, two of them. Okay, like that. And then you put the ends together. And then if you want the fringe to be going this direction, you pick it up. Actually, I should pick it up here and put the ends in toward the direction you want it. Okay, like that. And then you might have to pull it a little bit to get it there. Okay. And you can I did every other kind of zigzag, but you could do all of them across. It's okay. And then smush that tight. My recommendation again was to fill this up, even if you need to find other things. Maybe you have yarn around, maybe it's string, maybe you can cut up some material of something old, like an old pillowcase or something, cut it into strips. That makes really interesting, actually, kind of a thicker kind of yarn. You could use raffia, which is kind of like straw, but like tieable straw, if you will, and all sorts of things. I'd love to see what you come up with, actually. So if you can fill that up, I would recommend doing that, because then all you have to do is pull these skewers out. Once this whole thing's filled out, I don't want to do that with this yet because I want to show you how to cut it. But if this whole thing is filled up, that's how I did this. I had these strings were all caught in there. Okay. Every two there. And then all I did was you just do is take these off. And then next thing you know, you got this. I designed this loom for you guys to make that easy. So I hope it isn't too confusing, but I wanted to do it that way so that all you had to do is to pull these sticks out. Okay. And then boom, then you have it. But it does help if it's super, as tight as you can. If it's looser like this, it still works. But if you take the skewers out, but that's, here's one without fringe, I guess, is my example. Okay. And again, it's super simple. If you are done, filled it up, just pull the skewers out. All right. I'm going to show you if you did not fill this up all the way. All right. If you want to make a shorter one like this one, I started tying these off. And I think that was what was confusing to some people. So here's all it is. Okay. So I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to cut it. Okay. And when I cut that, let me show you. When I cut that, can you see this is the other part of it? Now I have two loose ones. Okay. And all you need to do then is to tie these around. So you kind of like make an X. It's like tying your shoes a little bit. Okay, you got an X and it goes around. All right, and you pull that and then you tie it again. So it looks kind of like an X, and then the one side goes through and then you tie it again. Okay, and then you can put that down. Then you can go back and cut another one. Okay, and because those are attached to each other. Now they're two loose ends, and we leave the other ones on there just to help for stability. Whoop, let me do that again. All right, so just like you tie your shoes, you take two ends, you wrap one around, you pull that tight, and then you just do that again. Okay? Boom. All right, and you got a lot of little strings here. And then the last one. Okay. And this last one, I just let it go loose. But if you have enough and can tie it onto the last string, that's going to help too. But it's okay if you don't. You can just make it loose. If you tie these, that should be fine. Or if it's super, pretty tight like this one was, I think you'll be fine too. All right, so tied that once, tie it again. All right, so here I have it, and you can trim these if you don't like them so long. Cut them a little shorter. Okay, now I've got this kind of a short weaving here, but it's still attached to this. So here's what I was talking about. If it's full like this, this works similarly. This is just if I shortened it. So here, all I have to do is take these skewers out. You see that? Just taking them out. These are 3mm wide, 8-inch long skewers that I got on Amazon. And I just made a cardboard. See how that, I just lift it up and there we go. This was my little design. Here, I'll do it upside down. You can see how I'm taking them out. It's all gonna come off. All right, and there I have it. Okay. And you can see them a little bit with that side. You can always kind of adjust it a little bit if you want to. If you don't like the knots here and there, you can push them through so they don't show. I think that'll be fine. Yeah, I hope that kind of made sense. Email me if it doesn't. I can try to add on to that. Yeah. I'm going to do another separate one. Do you want to try to make your own with these to like set it up to make another one if you want to do that. All right. But I did want to show, I know Maddie was asking about how to tie it off. So I want to make sure that she got that directions, and anyone else who is having trouble could do that too. Okay. Well, I miss you guys, and I hope that you'll sign up again for my class maybe in January. I think it's the last week in January, maybe. So it's already online for Aurora Parks and Rec if you are interested. But otherwise, I'm glad I got to be with you this past semester. And I hope that you enjoyed weaving. I know that was only 2 classes. We probably should have done at least one more. But that was, I wanted you guys to get a taste of it. All right. Take care. Have good holidays. Bye.